It is not in opposition to what you say, because I agree with a lot of things y'all say, but I had the opportunity, I lived in Grant Park, to meet the person that's over the weed and seed program. And I always hear a lot going on certain politicians and people, oh, he get money from weed and seed. But based on what they actually do, they don't have no role in turning people in to law enforcement. Only thing they do is receive funds from areas that have been
well, that's
identified.
They might not turn people in, but they open up the door for the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, the ATF, all the alphabet agencies. They open the door for them.
I'll give you an example. Like the DICO building over there, they get some funds, but rather than sending some of the women to jail like they normally do, they house them in there for treatment, and they're using money from the weed and seed.
But how many people under the weed and seed is arrested, then have their charges upgraded from misdemeanor to felony? Brother, we can't go there if 2 people out of the group is benefit from a program that is hurting the bulk of our people. Because if our young people is being strapped down with felonies and 2 women can go to DACO and get food, then that has not solved our problem.
I mean, you started right here in the community yourself. I mean, we had weed and seed since what, 91, 92? Yeah. Something like that. That's what they used to tear down Belmar Heights and Ponce Leon, that weed and seed program. That was the first phase. And I'm saying, you right here in the community. That used to be a black business over there. Used to be a hair salon. Used to be a hair supply. Used to be a club. This right here used to be a bail bonds place. It used to be a barber shop. Every place empty. They didn't do all the weeding, but where the seeding? So they, it's just a smoke and mirrors kind of program, so that certain people can get thousands, upon hundreds of thousands of dollars, and, but at the expense of the lives and livelihoods of the poor and oppressed people. They do all the weeding, but no seeding. I mean, you can see it yourself. Church's Chicken in the black neighborhood, Church's Chicken had some of the best chicken in the country. Church's Chicken in the black neighborhood at a major intersection is closed down. So I mean, it speaks for itself. That's that weed and seed thing.
Let me ask you: do you see the Black Americans as a nation of people, or as a market of people? Much like when you talk about trade, that we have certain rights as Black Americans for economic development, trade, maybe with other countries, Africa, and then we look in our community and we see foreigners that come into our community who have better trade access than we have, better access to loans than we have. Do you think by Constitution alone, by us being, first of all, American citizens, second of all, African people who built this country, right, that that's kind of backwards, that within our own communities that foreigners can
Brother, we have to see that our experience is different than what the American experience lay out. We was captives. We was kidnapped. And as a result of that, as much as you want to talk about liberty, justice, freedom, as much as you want to talk about you Americanized, these people show you on a day-to-day basis, not just in Tampa, all over the world. If you go to Detroit, this is our condition. You go to ATL, this is our condition. You go to Miami, this is our condition for black people.
I know y'all got a group, so my question is, once these people get in office, besides our own thing of just hollering, walking down the street, marching, are there plans being developed for we?
Brother, if there was enough of us hollering, marching down the street, we've been able to overturn our condition. But because, no, let me finish. But because people think they can deal with their enemy in the most pleasantest of ways, is the reason why only a few people benefit from the crumbs that our oppressors throw at us. All around the country, we got more Negro mayors, more Negro police chiefs, more Negroes sitting on boards, and yet those Negroes are all right. Now, why haven't those Negroes rallied for the masses of the people?
Yeah, I mean, the reality
is, condition is that if they go, excuse me, brother, the condition has been that if they accept the policy of oppression for the masses of the people, then they're all right.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is, here's the city of Tampa, and I'm saying that because we're dealing with a city election in the next couple of weeks. The city of Tampa has $787 million, in the budget, in the city budget, and most of that money is taxpayer money, and they can't figure out how to create jobs with $787 million. They can't figure out how to make sure that people don't have to stand on corners begging for change with $787 million. I mean, these policymakers have tax. I'm saying again, it's not like the government has like a mysterious money tree. This is taxpayer money. The people who live here, even if they don't own property, they buy water, they buy food, they pay taxes, and that taxpayer money should work for us instead of against us. And that's the bottom line. If we don't elect policymakers who have that philosophy, then it's our fault. And maybe there is no policymaker who does think that way, because it's all about their own personal benefit.
Let me ask you this too: our white brothers or middle class brothers are still depend from our new government. Meaning school teachers and firefighters.
You see them screaming and hollering.
Yeah, because they about to lose their pensions and find out what it is to be black. Public works. My question is, do you think this new governor is going to make such a bad plan in office to affect middle class white people to where all these groups are going to probably have to come together?
I hope so.
Because it's not going to be a middle class, it's going to be rich. And then it's going to just be the rest of
But we can't get confused because we see white people now screaming hollering. Because the screaming and hollering has met their ears with a deafening sound when we talk about economic and social justice. Rick Scott might be the governor, but I'm always reminded that he had many, many thousands and thousands of people that went out and voted for him. When Rick Scott ran his campaign, one of the things that he talked about very publicly is making welfare mothers take drug tests if they was going to get social benefits. He didn't talk about the things.
That's still going to happen?
Wait a minute, it might. But he didn't talk about all the other things he was going to do. Now, it was after he was elected by so many wonderful people that support that policy of attacking poor, and the buzzword is, black folks. But now that Rick Scott is attacking them, it would be wonderful if they would include in their hollering and screaming that we want to end to all of the social and economic injustice that occur against poor working class families. Not just because their pension is being taken, not because teachers are under attack, but the fact that if we're in this boat together, then accept our agenda as well.
We saw that similar thing with this recent panhandling, discussion of the panhandling ordinance. You got poor people, I mean, just like people who don't have a place to live, people who don't have any food to eat, who are begging for $1, and they want to get them off the street. And nobody was coming out in mass to contest that until they started talking about not allowing people who sell newspapers to stand out on the corner and sell newspapers, or not allowing the firemen to stand out with books. And then you had the people, the middle class persons who contracted numerous people to sell papers on every corner, coming to the city council mass saying, wait a minute, hold up on this panhandle thing. So what the Sister Connie is saying is, if their voices were coming out when they were attacking the least of us, the so-called least of us, then that would have been a principal stance. Not only when it affects their ability to pay their mortgage, and maintain their lifestyle. So. But still, I do hope he does make it hard on them, though. I do.
I'm loving everything.
Yeah, Well, and to wrap it up, here we are at the site. They call it Encore. We are Central Park, and we in the old black neighborhood that I hear that after Tampa Park leaves, it won't be any black neighborhood down here. So my question is, where in Tampa will there be a new black neighborhood developed, or will we be scattered all over the place, which will affect our voting power, it affect our kids and what schools they go to, because they won't have that closeness, that together. They'll be so sprinkled throughout some areas, and they're putting us up in an area too, a poor area called that was referred to as Suitcase City, putting us all in one area. What do y'all think about all this disbursement of our neighborhoods?
Do you see how easily the white middle class have been able to use this word, the war on the middle class, and how it's becoming an acceptable phrase? Well, what has happened to us has been a dedicated war against us to do just what you say. Weaken our ability to congregate, vote, keep that village unity going. That has been their deliberate plan. But it is, we could decide how far back we're going to allow ourselves to be pushed. The only way we can win and stop this hemorrhaging and this ongoing assault against our people, if we understand the strategy of war. Part of understanding the strategy of war is to get your people to understand, first of all, that it's a war against us, and then to work to defeat those that is plaguing us with all this hardship. They can't do it to us unless we let them.
The aggression is going to continue. I mean, you asked the question. I see no indication that the aggression is going to stop.
No.
I see, everything they saw. The comrade said this. It was a good phrase. What was it? You said deliberate what? The deliberate attack. I mean, it is deliberate. And you said that kind of fast. I want that to be clear to whoever will watch this. It is deliberate. This is not by happenstance.
What do you expect black people in terms of population here in Tampa? Say 20 years from now, do you expect our population to be as high, or do you expect us to disperse like they did in New Orleans all over?
Brother, we're going to be diluted. They don't even talk about the agenda nationally. Yeah. They don't even talk about that. I mean, we're not even the #1 minority group. Okay, you know why? Because there is leadership that is pushing the agenda for gay people. There's someone that's pushing the agenda for Hispanic people. There's somebody pushing the agenda for Muslim people. And if your leadership, the ones that you so casually, continually support, whether it be the national leaders that's not doing anything but, greasing their pockets, or these local preachers, we gonna get what we get. We have to make a determination. Let me tell you something. When the first report, the Encore Project came along, it was the Civitas Project. Remember that? And included in the Civitas Project was Tampa Park Apartment. But because we was a part of a revolutionary group, the Uhuru movement, we was able to read it and have an understanding. We was on the forefront that destroyed that whole plan. We defeated Civitas. And in defeating Civitas, we defeated their ability to take out Tampa Park Apartment, because that's part of the plan as well. So, it is, people in our community know what's really happening, but they choose to continue to side with allowing our enemy to pick our leadership. And people that have been courageous, unbending, unbought, and unbowed, that's not afraid of white power, that has been consistent in protecting the rights of the African people. We have a heart in getting our people to have an understanding. This is the group we need to organize.